So I think like we have given enough time for people to join in, and people can later on also join in. We can get the event started.
Yep, yep.
Okay, awesome. So, like, thank you everyone who has joined. And today's event is about how to fast track your career. And while in OutSystems domain, so whether you are junior OutSystems developer, mid-level OutSystems developer, what could be career path and how things could work out, and what are the steps that you can take to make most out of it. So let me start with the basic introduction about myself. So I'm a event organizer for Mumbai User Group, and by profession, I run our systems services company that is Rushtistic Technologies. And along with me is very esteemed and experienced personnel, Subramaniam Iyer, and we call him Subbu, and he also likes to be called Subbu. So you all can call him by that name. And coming to his experience, he comes with like major experience of around 15 years, and a lot of things he has done around OutSystems, like building OutSystems factory, building OutSystems team. And recently he joined Mumbai User Group as an organizer. And so we thought it would be really great to get to know about his experience while building OutSystems team and OutSystems factory. And like his experience can help all of us to learn about how we can, as a OutSystems in OutSystems field, how we can grow as an individual. And because he has been part of hiring team, and so he can spill some secrets about what hiring managers look for while hiring OutSystems developer. So I think it will be a great discussion. And event is going to be like a normal discussion about kind of podcast where we'll be having casual discussion and keep it light so that it is interesting for all the viewers. And coming to Subbu, so like Subbu, could you please give us a brief introduction about yourself so people who
Sure.
might not know you get to know you better?
Yeah, so I'll give a brief introduction, and before I do introduce myself, we'll try and keep this as interactive as possible. The Q&A tab is also enabled, so if you have any questions as we discuss along, put your questions in there, and we'll try and address as many questions as possible. All right. Having said that, so I have about 16 years of experience now under my belt. Started out in as a mechanical engineer with control systems background in an HVAC industry, or heating, ventilating, and air conditioning industry. And then eventually, when I moved back to India from the US, I joined a system house of Siemens, where we did industrial automation for about 4.5 years before I moved to applied materials again in product design and automation for about another 4.5 odd years, 4.5 5 years, and then I moved to a tire manufacturing company, one of the largest tire manufacturing companies for specialty tires, for about about 7 years, and I was there heading their digital and automation practice, and which is where I encountered my first interaction with OutSystems in general, and where we built our first OutSystems practice and team. And now I'm a part of Digifac, which is also software services providing company, and I'm basically heading their industry solutions. So that's a brief background about me. A lot of my experience is about holistic systems, not specifically software solutions. But the last 4.5 5 years have been more software and less of hardware. But there's always been some software component in most of the activities that I've done. So it's been a good journey so far, and OutSystems has only helped accelerate some of the initiatives that we had at various organizations. So I think it's an interesting time to be a part of OutSystems.
Great to know that, Subbu. So thank you for introducing yourself.
Yeah.
And I recently got, like, just now got to know that you are from mechanical background, and I am also from mechanical engineering. So I started my career as a software engineer, but I did my engineering from mechanical. So
Yeah.
good to
So
know that.
I often say that mechanical engineers make the best software engineers. Of course, that's biased speaking from my end, but no, I mean,
Good to know that.
irrespective of your stream, right? If there's
Correct.
attention to detail, there are certain qualities that you must possess. There needs to be attention to detail. You need to be able to plan whatever tasks you're doing properly. Time management is also something that'll come up, and
Mhm.
there needs to be the hunger to keep learning. So
Correct.
as long as you meet some of those three criteria, I mean, and anyone can move into any role, right? So that's not a limitation.
Great, great.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, so coming to, like, we can get started with the core of it. So about the
Yeah.
event that we wanted, so that people
Yes.
can get most out of the our conversation. So
Correct.
first question that I wanted to put along was, what do you feel? What are, like, in OutSystems factory? So because whenever suppose I am starting in my career as a OutSystems developer, so it becomes difficult for me to understand as a OutSystems team what are the roles that I could get into, in, like, maybe in next 3 years, next 5 years, as our systems team. What are the rules, like, that are present in our systems squad or unit?
Sure. So that's a great question, and often I mean developers get a lot of limelight, but there are many more roles in an out systems or in any successful software project per se. There are multiple roles that add value. In many teams, in smaller teams, there is often the same guy wearing multiple hats for different roles, but ideally you've got the different roles within every software development squad. So there's obviously the developer role, then there's that of a tech lead, who is responsible for assessing the quality of the code, assigning work, detailing your user stories, and all those things. And then there's the product owner, who's responsible to be the bridge between the end users, the stakeholders, and the team. And then there's obviously many teams will also have a PMO or a
Mhm.
product management office, a guy who will coordinate the overall strategy and will also act as a liaison for the stakeholders and help in planning. The
Mhm.
other key roles, which are often forgotten but in the background, and to a large extent, OutSystems has, especially OutSystems Cloud, has automated a lot of the infrastructure requirements. But
Correct.
having said that, there are still a lot of activities that need to be managed at the infra level. So an
Mhm.
infra admin is also an important role. On-prem, and until unless I understand otherwise, I think on-prem is still something that OutSystems offers for O11. ODC Cloud, obviously, by the name itself, is on cloud.
Correct.
O11 does have an offline, not more than offline, an on-site implementation as well. And call it privilege or luck or whatever it is. But my first OutSystems implementation was on-prem. So there's
I
a
see.
lot more. There's a lot. So you have a better appreciation for on cloud when you handle the infra on prem,
Correct.
and there's a whole bunch of stuff there also that you can sort of build expertise in as an infra admin as well. And
Mhm.
the last but definitely not the least is the role of a DevOps engineer.
Mhm.
Now, generally, this is a hat that's worn by the tech leads in most
Mhm.
organizations, most teams. But DevOps as a role itself, especially since OutSystems has made DevOps so much easier in terms of merging code, in terms of moving code between this. But the basic principles of DevOps and how do you effectively manage transitions, how do you plan, DevOps is also a critical role that someone needs to follow. And of course, without saying, I mean, every team will have testers in some capacity. In some cases, the BAs who do it or the business analysts who do it. Some case you have peer testing as well. And I do know that OutSystems also provide certain automated testing frameworks, or you can always use automated testing frameworks for your web app testing as well. So testing is another area where you could also build core competency.
So thank you, Subbu, for putting it all together. And whenever thinking from developers' perspective, so whenever I start career as a developer, so what should be my approach? So whether I should just focus on reactive web, or I should also look towards mobile development, because there is a different learning path for mobile development and PWAs, and for architecture as well. So how should I approach it? So first I should focus on one thing, or I should focus on multiple things at a time, so that I have understanding of basic understanding of at least all the things.
I think it's essentially the path you choose is opportunity based learning. So,
Mhm.
I mean, if your project gives you the opportunity to work on mobile apps or to work on reactive apps, I think that's where you probably start with. If you're a student, I would strongly encourage, starting with web reactive and then
Mhm.
moving on to mobile as well, because
I see.
web reactive is probably an easy place for you to start with. Mobile
Mhm.
does have certain additional aspects of offline sync and some additional concepts which may be a little bit more advanced, or at least would help if you have your web reactive, because a lot of the concepts that you will learn as a web reactive developer will actually help accelerate your development journey or your learning journey as a mobile app developer, right? Because the
Mhm.
core concepts remain the same. And
Mhm.
before
Yeah,
we
please go
even
ahead.
before you even get into that development journey, I think it's very important for developers to understand the three-layer canvas, at least as far as ODC, as far as O11 is concerned, right? ODC
Mhm.
has a different architecture, and we understand that. And again, any system you work with, it's good to know the ground rules. It's good to know
Correct.
what are the best practices. So as you go along, of course, you will not know everything on day one, but as you go
Mhm.
along, you probably want to learn more about best practices in terms of architecture as well as development patterns
Mhm.
and best practices industry in general. And one
Mhm.
of the best places to learn that is in forums like these, right? It's in the user group sessions.
Mhm. That totally makes sense, Subbu. So, what I understand from your thought is that once you start your career, focus on the reactive web, and then maybe if you get opportunity, you can get into mobile or PWAs, because it is similar path. And as soon as you get the chance, get into the architecture and best practices things, because from one day you cannot get into it. But to summarize
Yes.
it, as soon as you get the chance, get into
Yes.
it, the architecture as well as the best practices. Awesome. So that is really helpful. And coming to, because when a developer starts its journey, so the other thing that comes into mind is the growth perspective in that area. And because day-to-day tasks are obviously important, but focusing on the areas where the hiring managers are looking out, so what are the key parameters that hiring managers look for? And as a developer, suppose I am for next 3 years, what should I be doing, so that I am I have the best capabilities that exactly a hiring manager is looking for. So if you can throw some light on that part, it would be really helpful.
I think, personally speaking, as a hiring manager, when I'm looking to hire team members, I don't think you can tailor yourself to what a particular hiring manager, or there's no silver bullet. But I think at least a couple of things that you need to keep in mind is, one is be open and honest about what you've actually done, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes, and then we all of us, including me, at some point in my career, have put something on our resume where we remotely just touched the project, and then
Correct.
when you get asked questions on those projects, then it sort of exposes you, right? So
Mhm.
uh, keep the length of your resume does not actually impress someone as much as the depth of your resume. So
Mhm.
even if you have just one project, but you have enough, if you have enough depth in that project and you can answer all the questions that come up for that project, I think that will be more effective than having 15 projects listed where you've done probably just one or two activities across, right? and
Mhm.
and again, I don't necessarily say that doing one full project versus 15 projects with a minor role is better.
Mhm.
Is just be more open and honest about what you've actually done.
Mhm.
Second aspect is be very true in your expectations and your aspirations when you have these discussions, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about getting in the door; it's also about staying there and being a valuable and contributing member of that particular team. So I think in terms of having clarity on what is it that you want to do is important. Sometimes you may not have clarity on what you want to do, but you should have clarity on what you don't want to do. I think that's more important in most cases, right?
Correct. So we
Um,
have been all guilty of that. So
yeah,
when at least at initial level while in career, we put a lot of things that we have done like remotely. So suppose
yeah,
I have worked a little bit on a technology and I'll put that in the resume. So that is like a great insight that for all the developers who are looking to build their career, put out the technologies that you are really confident in, so that hiring manager whenever comes up with those questions or in interviews, you can answer in depth, so that uh, like otherwise it becomes really difficult to understand what exactly you have worked on and what is your exact expertise.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
similar, yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, and also, I mean, in terms of when you are coming in for low code, right? So I do know. So and then maybe I'm jumping a little ahead in terms of the low code no code approach of development.
Mhm.
Low code no code approach of development does not mean that traditional high code is no longer required or you don't need expertise in that. I think people often confuse the two when they say that low code no code development does not, you don't need to know how traditional applications are developed. I'll give you a simple anecdote, right? In terms of as a mechanical engineer, when we were going through the first 2 years, so I did my mechanical engineering from Mumbai University from Father Agnel's, and I think it is peculiar to Father Agnel's or maybe Mumbai University that we had 4 semesters of workshop
I
or
see.
machine shop. So I don't generally think people have more than 2 semesters of machine shop.
Correct.
Is generally, but we had 4 semesters of machine shop, and I
Mhm.
think we asked the guy who was doing those sessions as to why do you want to actually, why should we go through these 4 semesters of machine shop, because I don't see myself actually sitting in front of a machine or standing on a machine and actually running operating a lathe or machining
Or
on my own.
CNC. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to be sitting behind a desk in an AC room, designing stuff, and these guys will manufacture, right?
Correct.
So the answer that the instructor gave me stuck with me. It's like, look, you do this so that you know how things can be manufactured, how things work, because when you
Exactly.
design, you can keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Similarly, even in low code and no code, while you can use the low code no code platforms, it's important to know the building blocks that it uses,
Mhm.
because it gives you an insight into how it can be extended. And the
Mhm.
power of OutSystems comes from its extensibility, right? And
Mhm.
for extensibility, you will need to build some level of high code skills. You will need to have basic database concepts and DBMS concepts patched
Mhm.
down, right? So
Correct.
if you don't do that and you don't continuously keep upskilling yourself on those skills, I think that will also in long term hinder your hireability as well.
Mhm. So that is a great insight for all the people who are looking to advance their careers. So initially, it could be fine that you are just working on the low code aspect, but over a period of time, when you start growing, maybe at tech lead level or architect level, if you are aspiring to go in that level, it is really important that get into the details of it, how things are exactly working underneath. That always helps to in designing. So that's what Subhu is trying to give, and it is really important. So guys, take a note of it, so that will help in your career. Coming to the next part, so this is the opportunity that people get while working on the projects and all that and continuously doing. But people who want to advance their career ahead, they also want to spend time after the projects and all those things. So what could be the learning paths, or what are the options that are available? Because sometimes it happens that I'm working for some company and I don't have enough exposure to different projects. So
Yeah.
what could be option if still I want to advance my career? So what could be the other options?
So I think a couple of things. So I think OutSystems has a fabulous, feature where it gives you the ability to add, to create your own environment, and essentially use your own environment for learning and building your own concepts. So I would suggest, so OutSystems has these learning paths, right? So,
Mhm.
and let me see if I can quickly share my screen. I think most of you guys know this.
Yeah, that will be really
But
helpful if you
yeah,
can
yeah.
share that.
So, if you, this is something I think you guys already know. You can see essentially, you've got in the training section, you've got the different uh, planned paths. How do you become a web developer? How do you become a mobile developer? Being a tech lead. So you have these sort of curated learning paths. You can also go and view their entire catalog and essentially look at all the courses which are available and then deep dive on some of these. So one of the courses that I did a long time ago was on BPTs,
Mhm.
and I found that course being very effective for us to be able to utilize, right? So advanced aggregates, how do you use those? Mobile plugins, and mobile plugins is again something that you will encounter at some point in life, and if you have knowledge on that, is something that's very sought after skill as well, right? Because building mobile plugins requires a certain level of skill set that once you build it's not very difficult to build. It will take
Mhm.
some effort, you'll need some persistence, but once you build that, it really unlocks a lot more potential in terms of what you can get about systems. I mean, one of the things
That
that
can create
mobile,
a that
yeah.
can create maybe a differentiation in your profile. So that can
Absolutely,
be
absolutely.
like good add-on skill.
Absolutely, because mobile plugins again, one of the common utilizations for mobile plugins nowadays is analytics, right? Everybody wants to know about in-app analytics and how many customers are dropping off, what is your error rate, what is your customer sentiment, how many click-throughs per screen, banner click rate. All of these things are something that come through, and mobile plugins really help with that. And then there are also additional plugins, your Cordova plugins for your RFID devices, your QR code readers, right? So while OutSystems is now penetrating into multiple fields and multiple industries, and especially in logistics, in manufacturing, some of those device capabilities will be extremely helpful, right? So you got those. And then you got various. So again, you see SQL queries, and that again, right? So with ODC being on a version of Postgres, I think knowing your databases, understanding that how they operate, how they function, and getting the most out of the application is something that will really differentiate and boost your profile. And then there are various other courses, right? So how do you validate an architecture? Agile methodology. I mean, this is something that's very important, right? So OutSystems and most software development practices will advocate using the agile methodology. Waterfall does not really work. So I don't know if we have sort of. I think we have that enabled. So if we
Mhm.
can have a quick show of hands as to how many are familiar with the agile process, if you can just raise your hands, so that we'll keep it more interactive. So, all right, we've got one hand going up there. There's two,
Two,
three.
three, four,
Fantastic. All right. So I
five.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think while more hands do go up, I think if you look at this, there's still quite a lot of hands which are not there. I would
Mhm.
strongly recommend, if you are familiar with Agile, doing this again will help you refresh and also understand how OutSystems looks at Agile, right? So look at that, understand that. That is one of the key concepts to have clarity on before you can get a tech lead certification. So I just recently completed the tech lead certification, and therefore, yeah, and I think that's one of the things. Although I've got 15, 16 years of experience in project management, I think that's a concept which is still was a little challenging for me also to get aligned on, because again, while agile is great and it's good, um, there's a little bit of a learning curve, and it's good for you, it's good for the project as a whole, but learning that will really help boost how well a software project is run. So I think that's another thing that one must look at in terms of looking at the learning paths. And then
Mhm.
you've got your modeling your business processes, which is your BPTs. You've got your infrastructure setup. Again, something that we spoke about is very important. Lifetime DevOps and infra management. Again, if you know this, it's a differentiator, because not a lot of people have those skill sets, or don't, or not a lot of people actually build those skill sets, and that's something that's very useful in larger and mid-sized organizations as well,
Mhm.
right? So this is overall, you got this in general, and then
Mhm.
you can find all of these on how do you build an app, training calendar. You got developer schools as well, right? So developer school is something that is run, I think, every few months. So
Mhm.
in Asia Pacific, this is currently open. So all of those who are here, if you want to learn and be a part of the developer school, I think you can go ahead and apply. You can ask your friends or colleagues if they are interested also to go and apply. And this is a fantastic resource, right? You get to learn from the best on OutSystems, and that's another fantastic place to learn. Of course, there's
Mhm.
also
Awesome.
there's also the let me stop sharing, just share the other tab as well. Oops.
Mhm.
There's obviously the user groups, right? So that's another place. So these events where what we're discussing today, some of these events and a lot of these events are going to be both skill oriented, both in terms of development skills and best practices, new innovations that come up that you can learn about, and also it's also about building your networks, and also learning and interacting with people to learn from their mistakes, right?
Mhm.
um, Utilizing their experiences and building on that. And of course there's the community as well. So there's you've got the where is that? So let me just, yeah, you got your basic you got your OutSystems community in general, which is your which where you can go and post. You have your forums. You've got Forge components where you can pick up and learn. There are a lot of Forge components which are built around demos on how to use certain aspects of OutSystems. So look at
I see.
those. They're a good part of learning as well. And of course, OutSystems has recently launched the mentorship program, right?
Mhm.
Uh, I'm very proud and happy to say that I am a registered mentor for OutSystems as well. And if you guys go and look for mentors, or if you want to be a mentor, it's a fantastic place to learn as well as contribute back to the community that you're a part of, right? So and it's actually very interesting. So let me just oops let me just also quickly share.
Mhm.
Okay, so
So maybe
yeah.
by the time Subir is sharing the screen, okay, we can see the screen now. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is essentially the ADP list for OutSystems mentors. So you can see there's a whole bunch of people out there already who are providing mentorship, not only on OutSystems but in general, even on other aspects of not only technical but also other aspects of how do you build a career guidance, which learning paths to take. I think a lot of these guys, there you see me as well, and then there's a whole bunch of other people there whom you can actually learn from, right? And it's still loading. So there's a whole bunch of mentors already there. You've got Paulo also already there as a mentor. So yeah, I mean, utilize the most of it, and that's another fantastic resource for you guys to actually learn from.
Mhm. Awesome. So thank you, Subbu, for summing it up, and it was great to understand how what are the things that we should be learning and what kind of career path paths we can choose. So to summarize for our audience, the focus areas could be BPT. So if you are at initial level of your career, learn BPT, learn agile methodology. So these are two big aspects which are required by hiring managers, and they value it a lot. Apart from that, Subbu mentioned about mobile plugins and Cordova plugins. So you can go through those and SQL queries also. So these were the things that Subbu mentioned, and it will be great if you can go through it and you'll learn a lot about it. So coming to one more thing Subbu mentioned, so that was ADP list, that is career mentorship program. So Subbu, is this mentorship program free of cost, or is it paid? How people can approach to the mentors? So what would be the process of doing that?
I think it's mostly it's free of cost, at least.
Hmm.
So the OutSystem mentors are there. I think there are some paid mentorship programs as well, but the idea
Awesome.
is most of it is free. You
Hmm.
can find time slots for when these people are available, and
Hmm.
apply that as well. So
Okay, okay.
that's also something that is sort of available for teams to utilize.
Okay,
So
okay, awesome. So
yeah,
maybe if when you get time, if you can share the link of that thing in the
sure.
chat, so that people who are a part of this program can click on that link, and maybe if they have some queries or if they are looking for some mentorship, they can reach out to you or other mentors, depending on the availability of slots. So it will be
Sure,
really great if you could share the link of that whenever you get time during the
sure,
event.
sure. We'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So coming to the because we have touched upon the how we can do the learning apart from the opportunities that we are getting in our jobs. So what could be learning paths? Coming to the things what could be the things initially also we touched upon this part, but if we can put more emphasis on. So what could be the future options, because ODC is coming up, O11 is right now there. What should be our focus if coming to next 3 years in terms of getting a job? How I should approach different parts of technology so that I am most employable in next 3 years or maybe 5 years.
Yeah, I think you need to be cognizant of what the current trends are. I think ODC will have a major role to play,
Mm-hmm.
and ODC is essentially is going to be how the future of our system is going to work. So building
Mm-hmm.
skill set in that is also going to be something that'll be valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at generative AI, I mean, I know it's a
Mm-hmm.
buzzword, and probably it's more hype than actual use today.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of gold rush in people trying to use generative AI as a use case rather than using it to solve a problem. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that is an approach. Learning Gen AI is something that'll be key in terms of again understanding how it works. I
Mm-hmm.
know there are a lot of OutSystems components coming up which are already utilizing integrations of Gen AI and AI Builder with ODC. So I think that's something. Knowing how these components work will be very critical. And yeah, I mean, you have to see. I think one thing is very important or non-negotiable for a long and sustainable career. You have to keep learning. You have to keep understanding what's new, what is new in the platform that you're offering, and more importantly, I think it's important to share what you know. See,
Mm-hmm.
the for me the fastest way to learn is to share, because the
Correct.
more you share with people about what you know and what skill sets you've developed, the more you will get reciprocation from them as well, and you will learn a couple of neat tricks and tips or new upcoming technologies as well. So I think
Definitely.
both are important. Keep learning and keep teaching and sharing your community, and that's how you will end up building a good profile within our systems as well.
Mhm. Mhm. So that is really helpful, Subbu. So to add on to that, maybe I would like to highlight one more point that at initial level, developers tend to miss. At least when I was initially starting my career, I missed that point because that is being technology focused only. So when we start, we are like, I'm developer and I just want to focus on technology and I don't want to learn how the domain exactly works. So suppose you are working in manufacturing domain or insurance domain. So, if the core thing could be if you can start learning parallelly about your domain as well. So, if it is insurance industry you are working on insurance project, it will be really great if you can keep on getting the expertise on how actually an insurance domain works. Because over a period of time, as you grow in your career, that could be a differentiator that could come upon because technologies keep on changing. So right now it is O11. Next will be ODC, and Subbu was mentioning about Gen AI. Gen AI will play a huge role in coming next decade. So things will keep on coming up, but the differentiator that at initial level you can put in is understanding more about domain as well, because it is a bias that comes in because we come from technology background and we tend to focus just on technology. But my suggestion would be spend some time to understand your domain as well. That will pay off like multifold. So
Absolutely,
coming.
absolutely. Can't agree more. I mean, see, it's the moment. So generally, at least my mantra is the moment you get comfortable, find a way to get discomfort because that's the only way to grow. Right. The moment you
Correct.
get comfortable, that's when your growth stops. So,
Mhm.
I mean, keep pushing yourself. When you go to such events, right, is also another place where you can learn about new things that people are doing and find
Mhm.
inspirations on where do you learn from and how do you learn. So I think
Mhm.
those will be some key areas where you can collaborate with your community, your peers. User groups
Mhm.
are a fantastic area,
Mhm.
and I encourage you guys to participate in future user groups. Not only the Mumbai user groups, but also I mean, Outsystems has got a lot of user groups which have a lot of online, sessions like this one as well. There's nothing stopping you from joining those as well and being a part of those communities as well. The more we interact, the more we participate, the more we learn as a group.
Mhm. Sure. So that was a great insight, Subbu, and I am quite sure that it will help us a lot and all the audience to grow as an individual in our systems career. And I am quite sure that people might have some questions around the topics we have discussed. So if from the audience anyone is having any question, feel free to put the question on chat, and we'll be happy to take those questions and guide you on that. So anybody who is having questions, you can even raise your hand and we can allow you to turn on your mic and you can speak as well. So let's take 2 minutes. If somebody is raising hands, we can wait for that. Otherwise, we can start with the quiz.
So generally, when there are no questions, either everything is clear or nothing is clear.
Yeah, so don't shy
I
away
mean,
from any kind of question. So there is no dumb question at all because like every question is relevant. So don't shy away, and if it is even basic question, feel free to ask. Okay, so
I
Mayur
think
has raised hand.
yeah.
So Mayur, I think you can turn on your mic. Uh, Mayur, are you getting that option? Now you will be getting the option to turn on your mic. Mayur, you there? So if you are not able to, okay, you can type in your question in chat as well if you are not getting the option to uh, turn on your mic. Meanwhile, I'll check why you are not getting the option. You should be getting by because I have enabled presenter mode for you.
Yeah. Or you can just put it in the chat, Mayur. Yeah, I think he's put it in the chat.
Okay.
No, he's just okay.
If anybody else is also having any questions, feel free to jump in and ask in chat, or you can turn on your
So,
mic and speak.
Mayur, what I see is that your microphone is blocked by permission issue. So I don't know whether when you joined, did you? It would have prompted you to allow mic and video. So I don't know if you did, but just put your question and we'll ask. All right.
Yeah, he has put his he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
put in his question. Yeah.
If I want to be the solution architect in OutSystems, what could be the possible path of certification? That's a good
Great
question,
question.
right? So, um, all right, let me go ahead and share the screen. I don't know how many of you have seen this document, but let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah. So you've got these are your various certification paths. So right now there's ODC. I think this is appended. There are ODC mobile and web as well, which gets added here in front. But for O11, you've got all of these as well, and then down here you've got your professional delivery specialization exam and all of these exams as well, right? So I think for a solution expert, as if you want to be a solution architect, I think what you should be looking at is first getting your associative reactive exam, and then looking at the architecture specialization exam.
I
I
see.
think that's something that you need to do that. Yeah. So this document, if you go to, I think Anandi had this question, and I'll quickly jump because it's related to this document. Um, this document is there in any certification that you pick. So when you download the certification details or the certification resources, you will find this document in that. You'll find this PDF in that document as well. And I don't know, Anuj. I mean, this is the first sort of organizer event for me. So maybe there's a mailing list on which we can share this document if it's possible. We'll
Mhm.
send out.
We cannot edit that, but maybe we can. We have a WhatsApp chat group. If
Yes.
like later on we can put a QR code, people can join in, and
Yeah.
then we can share it over there maybe.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we do have a WhatsApp user group, and Anuj or I, one of us, will share it on the screen before we close today's session. You can scan and you can join that. It'll be good fun to have you guys specialize there, and we'll drop these documents there as well. Yes. So let me go through another question. The next question was, okay. We had a question from Rajat Patankar. The future of ODC, shall we focus on that? Yeah. So the future of ODC is it's still pretty much in nascent stage. I think ODC will be a fantastic platform going forward because of its architecture. It's
Mhm.
entirely based on microservices. The fact that you can scale up individual, singular modules and applications rather than scaling the entire environment is going to be a game changer for that as well. And the inherent security, if you are familiar with the ODC architecture, and that's a separate. And maybe Anuj, this is a good idea. I mean, there's a good
Mhm.
input from us. People want to
Mhm.
learn more about ODC, so maybe we can have in
Correct.
one of the sessions a deep
Mhm.
dive on ODC and
Sure.
how it's different from the existing O11. But
Mhm.
it brings with it a lot of functionalities, a lot of beautiful enhancements. One of which is in the pipeline, is your AI integration, right? So you've
Mhm.
got Gen AI integration not only for integrating with existing Gen AI platforms, but there's also other. If you've attended the recent OutSystems events, there's a Morpheus which is coming through, which will also help build generative apps natively. So there's
Mhm.
a lot of good uh, technology update coming in ODC as
Mhm.
well. So
I also feel the same, Subbu. I also feel the same because, like in O11, there was a constraint that we cannot scale the applications that fast, and the scalability of the applications were a concern. But over a period of next 3 years, I think ODC will be the mainstream thing for OutSystems because as it happened from O10 to O11, so people moved from traditional to reactive web development, and now it has become mainstream. And similarly, it will happen for ODC, because right now it is at nascent stage, and we do lack a lot of force components, a lot of capabilities while we are developing ODC. We face challenges right now. But if you want to prepare for future, next 3 years, ODC will be mainstream, because it brings a lot of capabilities for building scalable applications. So,
True.
like it is inevitable. So,
True.
whether it is Kubernetes, whether it is security, whether it is microservices, so it is top notch technology, and it is inevitably going to be future.
Okay. Anandi has a question on, is OutSystem certification mandatory to get hired? Anuj, why don't you take a stab at it and then I'll give you my view on it.
Sure, sure. So, Anandi, like when we talk about hiring for our systems developer, so the initial screening that happens at maybe HR level, so they screen a lot of resumes, because for one vacancy they might be getting 100 resumes or 150 resumes for one vacancy, and then it becomes easier for HR to like HR team to screen based on the certification. So initial level screening happens based on the certification. It is not very mandatory, but if you are looking to build your career in our systems, I would suggest at least have the basic level certification. Not just it will help you in hiring, but also the guiding path that you go through, guided path that you go through while preparing for certification. It gives you a depth of understanding of how our systems work, and the basics gets cleared. So in terms of learning, it also helps, and in terms of getting a screen, also it helps. So that is my take. Subbu, maybe you can give throw more light on that.
Yeah. So personally, my view has always been I will prioritize experience and knowledge over certifications. Right.
Mhm.
I know
Correct.
many people with so the trend nowadays of 6x, 7x, 10x certification.
Correct. Same
So
in AWS, and
yeah.
all like everywhere it is like multiple certification, 10x certification.
Look, I'll tell you this. 3 years of building a team, I did my first associate reactive developer exam and certification. I did it after 3 years of running, and doing a team. Right. So, um, I think practical knowledge will be more valuable than certifications. Not to say that certifications don't have their place. Certifications are a way to get recognized,
Mhm.
to get your knowledge validated. But it does not always act as a corollary of one is to one, right? It does not always mean that certifications means that someone has knowledge, or that someone who doesn't have a certification does not have knowledge. I don't see it as a one is to one correlation. However, I would strongly encourage that if you can get certified in the skills, because it also shows your preference. I think someone said asked about architecture, right? So
Mhm.
when you do a certification in architecture, it automatically sends out a signal to the people who are recruiting. If they want someone with a strong foundation in architecture, it's a good way for them to filter you out from the rest of the crowd. Is
Mhm.
it mandatory? I think that would be dependent on every organization hiring.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's a piece of paper that tells the world that you have knowledge. Now you can
Correct.
either do that on your own by demonstrating your experience and expertise, but it definitely helps you open doors. So
Mhm.
certifications are important. I will not say they are not, but I would not say that they are a mandatory requirement, at least not from my perspective.
Mhm. To sum it up, Anandi, so if you are like initial level, at least get one or two certifications, but don't get into the mad race of getting a lot of certification just to get 10x, 5x, 7x, and instead focus on the skills. So initial certifications will definitely help you out to get the doors open, and then focus on the skill sets.
Okay, Akash had a question of what kind of events can we attend in order to get free vouchers for exams. Uh, Good question. I think so. Vouchers are something that, so generally people, it will be stated out in events.
Mhm.
So generally when you have the developer one conference, when you join the Outsystems developer school, I do believe you get a voucher there as well. Boot camps also offer some vouchers as well.
Mhm.
And then there are often so I think there is a hackathon that's being promoted by Outsystems as well. If you participate in that, I don't know for sure, but I think you could get a voucher there as well. Joining the Outsystems global events and participating in the Outsystem One conference on webinars, attending those sessions also do result in vouchers. And yeah, I don't know as of right now. Maybe Anuj and I can figure out a possible master class that we can plan for, maybe around
Definitely.
architecture or something like that. And we'll see if there's somewhere that can be
Mhm.
that avenue is also there. But there are a
Yeah.
lot of avenues to get these vouchers. I would also encourage strongly participating in the community forums.
Mhm.
It's often there that you will also get recognized, become part of certain MVP groups, become part of certain uh, other initiative groups that OutSystems has. And I think they do surveys from time to time to understand where they want the product to go or develop further. Participate in those. Those are also good avenues for you to get your vouchers.
So, like how it happens is it is not very frequent that OutSystems gives away the vouchers, but the key will be to be active on the community. And if you are active on the community, they give the hints that this is going to be the event where you can get the vouchers. So, master
Correct.
classes one of them, and in-person developer conferences are one of them. Where because in last event that happened in Bangalore, they gave away a lot of free vouchers to the attendees. So that could be a thing. Whenever they start something new, then they give the free vouchers. Like master classes are a new thing that are coming up in the event. So that could be a thing where you can get a voucher. But the key will be to be active on community on the forum, and if you are active, you will get the hints that this is the event where you can get a
Akash, Akash, I'll also tell you this, right? I don't know how many of you have seen that viral meme going on from a video taken, I think, late 80s about
new.
that vase bought from the road and the 300 rupee vase that does not break. But things that when you actually go ahead and buy the license or buy the voucher for getting certified, will also make you a little bit more serious in preparing for it because you put your own money
Correct.
where your mouth is, right? So while yes, there are opportunities for you to get those vouchers, uh, i I would also urge that don't wait for a free voucher. If you think your career deserves that investment, invest it. I think you will reap benefits far outweighing the cost of that certification. But yeah, I mean, when you've put money to it, right, you'd probably take that exam a lot more seriously than if you had a free voucher. So that's my 2 cents on it.
And I'll also suggest you guys if like talk to your managers. So like in most of the companies they offer the certification programs and that is reimbursable. At least we do it. So you can talk to your managers, and I'm quite sure most of you might get the help from them and how you should be taking those certifications. Because managers are really happy to encourage that if you want to take a career path and you want to get certified in something, they mostly help out. So Anandi has requested, please ping the path for the document. Okay,
Yeah, that's for the PDF document. So I think
I
we'll
see.
put it on the WhatsApp group. I
Mhm.
think that'll be a good place for them to get it. But like I said, it's fairly straightforward. Go and pick any certification, download the resources. There's a small, and maybe I can show you that, right? Let me see if
Mhm.
I can.
Yeah, that
Uh,
will be good. One more thing I can do is I can put an invite link, WhatsApp invite link in the chat so that people can join in parallelly. So that could
yeah.
be a thing where we can share the
So
important documents.
if you can see the screen here, when you download the exam details, you will get essentially a packet of that trail sheet. And then when you open that is when you'll actually get you'll find what this document as a part of the zip documents there. So you can pick any one of these. You can download these and they will have that same PDF embedded in it. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? So I think the one thing I do want to give a shout out to is Mayur. He started asking the first question, which got us a lot of other questions as well. So thank you for
Correct.
starting the question session, Mayur.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
making, guys.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'm just putting the WhatsApp group like invite link. So, and if anybody of you is interested to be part of Mumbai user group and keep on getting the updates, we keep on sending the updates in those that WhatsApp group, and we keep on getting the polls also, so that we can understand from your perspective that how we should be organizing other events and what are your preferences. So, if anybody of you are interested, feel free to join in via WhatsApp group. And
Anuj,
Subbu, if yeah.
we have one more question in the Q&A section. So
Hmm.
the question came from Pradnya. How do we
Okay.
pitch to recruiters when you have a reactive developer certification, but you
Hmm.
have a sabbatical gap as the recruiters ask for current experience? Look,
Hmm.
I'll give you my 2 cents on it, right? So before I joined my current firm and I quit my previous firm, there was a 3 month gap, and I took a 3 month gap consciously because I was getting burnt out and I wanted to get some breathing space and set some things right. So not just sabbaticals, right? There are a lot of reasons why you may have a gap in your career. It may be 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe a couple of years. For returning mothers, it may be more. It
Hmm.
doesn't really matter. I mean,
Exactly.
if someone is asking for a justification, again, they may be asking for an information perspective, but at least as far as I'm concerned, I don't think a career gap matters as long as you can add value to the organization you are trying to join, and as well as your expertise is still valid. I mean, maybe
Hmm.
you need to upskill to join the workforce again, and that's perfectly fine, right?
Okay.
But I still know guys who come for interviews who have done a CCNA certification way back in 2005. So,
Correct.
I mean, as long as they know networks, I don't care. Similarly, as long
Hmm.
as you can add value, I don't think the right recruiter will care. And if someone is so concerned about your career gap, probably not the place you want to go.
Hmm.
My two
Sure,
cents.
sure. So, same here, Subbu. So, I think I also feel the same. In the industry, people care more about the skills. So, it could be a basic question that like hiring manager or HR might be asking to understand just for the information. But the suggestion would be focus on the skills. So, if you are in OutSystems career, even if you have been working as a .NET developer earlier and you took 3 years gap, so if you want to get into OutSystems, go through guided path, get one certification done, and the like do some upskilling so that you have relevant understanding now. And I think people will be more willing to have you on board if you'll be if you'll be transparent enough. Okay, so that's it. And Mayur is asking for QR code, so I'll try to create a QR code meanwhile. And if we are done with Q&As, we can start with the quiz. And there is a the winner of the quiz will be getting goodies from OutSystems. So this time I'll this is going to be fun. And if so, Subbu, your suggestion if we should be going for quiz or we should still wait for Q&A?
No, no, we can. I think we can go for the quiz. Just a quick, just give me a quick second. I'm trying to just get the WhatsApp QR code to show up.
Okay.
Just a second. If I can do that, then that's great. Otherwise, we
Yeah.
can. I think let's start with the quiz. I'll see if I can get it onto my laptop, and then we can share it as well.
Yeah, sure. So, meanwhile, we can get started with the
Yeah, yeah,
quiz.
absolutely. Yeah, let's get started with the quiz. All right, great. I'm happy that you guys asked so many questions. Happy to share the inputs. And yeah, let's see you on the quiz. And remember, there are goodies at stake. There are prizes at stake. So give it your best.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, Kratika will be hosting the quiz. So, Kratika, if you can take over and share the screen, and we can get started with the quiz. So, all the best to everyone. Give your best.
Hello everyone, Kritika this side. Thank you Shubhamanyam and Anush for inviting me to such a informative session. Okay, so let me tell you something about myself first. I'm a HR executive at Prostistic Technology, and I'm working with them from past 6 months. Before that, I have worked in a one IT company. I worked there as a IT recruiter. Then I switched here. So I hope you are enjoying the session. Let's get started with the quiz. I will be sharing my screen with you guys. Then you will be directed, you can scan the QR code and you will be redirected to the Slido. Just add your name and like you can start the quiz. Okay, just let me share it. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yeah, Kritika, we are able to see your screen.
Yeah, we're able to see your screen. Yes.
Okay.
So everyone, please scan the QR code so that you can get into the quiz. Or if you are not able to scan it, you can just go to slido.com and enter this ID three triple
Okay.
four five six five.
I've already shared the link with you guys. You can click on the link also, or you can scan the QR code.
Yeah, awesome. So Kritika has shared the link in chat. Let's wait for a minute so that everybody can join in.
Okay, shall we get started?
Yeah, I think we got every. You do we have everyone? All right. I think we can start.
Okay, yeah, let's get started now. You have 15 seconds to answer this question. Which of the below is not a certification area in OutSystems? Okay, so the poll is closed and the 55% of the people are correct. Testing is the correct answer here. Okay, moving on to the next question. What are the resources to learn about more about OutSystems? Okay, so 92% answer is the correct. Okay, moving on to the next question. What type of applications can be created in OutSystems? Okay, the correct answer is all of the above, and
Fantastic.
all have given the correct answer. Okay, that's cool. Okay, moving on to next question. OutSystem enables the creation of application for which of the following platforms? Okay, here also 100% participants are correct. Next question is here, where you can reach out for additional learning guidance and support. Okay, and the correct answer is all of the above. Okay. If we can see the leaderboard, Mayur is leading here.
Wow, the guy who started the questions, huh? Nice.
Yes. Okay. Moving on to next question. Five more questions are left. OutSystem recommends which method of the project management for the
I think we lost your
okay.
audio, but that's okay.
Okay, okay.
Fantastic,
Correct.
93%.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay. So correct answer is agile. Moving on to the next question. What does the term traditional web refer to the OutSystem? Okay, only 64% of participants are correct. The answer is the first one, the new web application using traditional technologies. Okay. Okay. So what does the term low code refer to the OutSystem? The correct answer is writing minimal code. Okay.
I think we've got a very, very smart audience.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So next question is already here. And the correct answer is IBM and Oracle. Okay, that's cool. And one more question is left there. Okay. Which of the following is not a feature of OutSystem platform? Okay, 77% of participants are correct. Correct answer is virtual reality development.
I think that's great.
Okay, so Mayur has
And Mayur keeps the
got the
lead.
point.
Wow, nice. Amruta
That's
and Shivam are also on second and third place. Fantastic.
fantastic. Okay, and here is, I think, active poll. You should also participate in this. Is my screen visible to you guys?
Yes, yes. And I'll leak the answer for this question. I would like to meet all of you guys in person. I don't know about you guys, but I would definitely want to like to meet you guys in person. So I am voting for in person, but of course you've got your preferences. Let us know where you would want to have the next event. So we are, I think, um, Anuj is has dropped off. He's joining back soon, but I take this opportunity to let you guys know that we are going to have the next event on the 25th of May. which is also a Saturday, and we are yet to finalize the details of the event and what we're going to be holding on. So join us on the WhatsApp group, join us on the Outsystems user group on the Outsystems portal to stay notified on what that is going to be. Anuj, welcome back. So I
Sorry
just
for,
told the team,
yeah.
no worries. So we just shared with the team that we are going to
Mhm.
be having the next event on the 25th of May, which is a Saturday.
Awesome.
And I also leaked the answer to this question, saying at least I am voting for him in person because I like to meet all these wonderful people and our community as well. So
Sure.
put your votes in, stay connected on our user group, and stay connected on the WhatsApp portal as well. Once you've done with your polling, I think, have you received all the polls, Kritika?
I think I've already received it.
Okay,
If you
Let's
can
see.
share
fantastic.
the answers.
Yeah, I think just let me check.
Sure. By the
Yeah, I
time
can
I'll,
see the results here. That's
okay.
cool.
So if you can
Yeah,
share
can you?
it like with us as well, so people can know what people are wanting. By the time Kritika is doing that, I'll share the link, the QR code for WhatsApp group. So if anybody has
Fantastic. I
not,
also had that set up, but go ahead.
yeah. So if anybody has not joined the WhatsApp group, feel free to scan it and join it. I hope you are able to see it.
Yeah, I think I see a lot of people who've already joined. That's great,
Awesome.
right? Fantastic. Uh, so before we sort of drop out, I would request all of you, if you've not already joined the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group. And I think one of the first sort of asks from me, from all of you uh, of the community, is on that group, make your thoughts vocal about what you felt about this event. Give us your feedback in terms of what you liked, what you did not like, what you would know want to see more of next time, and more importantly, let us know what you want us to focus on the next in-person or online event. So, Kritika, can we have the results of the poll?
Yeah, let me present the result. Just
Of course, this is for the
Sure.
smaller sampling size. We'll do the same poll on the WhatsApp group as well, Anuj, so that we'll
Sure.
get
Sure.
uh, the poll from the broader community as well.
Sure. So by the time Kritika is sharing the screen, if like you guys could turn on your cameras and we can take a screenshot for the memories so that we attended this event, if that is possible. If not, that is totally fine. Okay, so 64% of the people wanted online and 36% of the people wanted in-person event. Okay, thank you, Kritika, for sharing the results of the poll. Subbu, you are on mute, I think. You are saying
Yeah, yeah.
something?
No, no, I think this is great. This is good feedback. But yeah, I was hoping more for the other way around. But that's me. But all right,
Yes.
fantastic. It's good to get that participation in. And yeah, let's go ahead and take our web selfie.
Yeah, Kritika, could you please stop sharing the screen? Yeah, if anybody of you like could turn on your camera, we can take a web selfie. Okay, Mrityunjay is here. I think Shivam is also turning on the camera. Anybody else? And the person who has won, please share your email ID in the chat as well. The quiz, the winner, please share your email ID in the chat so that our team can reach out to you for sending the goodies.
Yeah, yeah, the winners of the quiz, right? Yeah, please put your email
Correct.
IDs in the chat. I think the
So thank
winners
you,
were
Subbu,
good.
for taking out the time. It was really great insight, and I am quite sure that all of us learned something or other from the event.
Happy to be here and looking forward to similar events in the future. Looking forward to meeting all of you guys in person also at some point in time. All right. Have a fantastic weekend and see you guys in the next event.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.